Alright lads, welcome back. Let's tune this deck. Now, this deck, a lot of you aren't going to care about the deck itself, but you might care about the process. You might care about how I go about improving it, how I decide to make the cuts, what goes in. So, let's do a recap. The reason this deck exists, this is my one rare deck. So, a few months ago, the genie, probably to take money out of the equation, said what we should all do is build a one rare deck. Me, having gone through this exercise before with a different group, didn't think it was going to be a good idea. Didn't think it was going to be fun, because if you only have one rare in the deck, that is typically going to be the commander. Doesn't have to be. I could have a uncommon commander and run, say, Armageddon as my rare if I wanted to. Or Oko. Rare or mythic rare. That's the consideration. Everything else in the deck has to be common or uncommon. It does lead to some weird things, like I'll point it out when I get to it. What I'm doing right now is just taking the land out, because the land will not really change. Be making changes to the main deck. Yes, so I have a one rare deck. Like I said, probably the idea was to take money out of it to lower the power level, but I've got land tax. Because land tax is printed in Legends and as an uncommon. There you go. So, didn't quite meet the purpose. Another friend of mine in another group, what they did is, instead of one rare, they just said nothing can cost more than $1. So any card you want to put in your deck, it must have at least one version that is freely available, that in English near mint costs no more than $1. So you could pimp out your deck. You could put it on the fulls you want. You could put in all the expensive alternate versions, but there has to be one version of that deck freely available for less than $1 or less US. Which means you're not going to be running any real popular cards, anything really sought after. For example, in this deck, I wouldn't have land tax. I wouldn't have... What else wouldn't I have? I wouldn't have... Yeah, I probably would have damn near most of the deck. Skull Clamp, probably wouldn't have Skull Clamp. Swords to Plowshares. I believe the cheapest version of Swords to Plowshares in near mint English is going to be $1.50 to $2 US. That's my guess. Could be wrong because I haven't looked it up lately. But anyway, so we did this one rare experiment. The funny thing is, after proposing it to us, and after Cube and I building our one rare decks, the genie decided he needed a break. So he did not build his one rare deck. He no longer plays with us. He's taking a sabbatical hiatus. Which means, since nobody else built one, Cube and I are basically playing a two-man duel format, which kind of sucks. Because Cube, since he had the cards laying around, he just built fucking Krinko. He built mono-red Krinko goblins. If Krinko sits there for 3 turns, 2 turns, well, first turn, you cast him. And unless you have something to give him haste, which Cube has several things to give him haste, he has to sit there a turn. Next turn, you get a bunch of goblins. Next turn, you double those goblins, and then it just goes off the rails quickly. Krinko is a viable mono-red commander in normal commander games, without limiting the cost, without limiting the rares. So, at first I tried to build, before I knew what he was going to build, I had Niv Mizzet with the Curiosity combo, and it was too damn slow. I beat him once, only once. Out of all the games I played Niv Mizzet, I lost every other game. Full stop. This deck, Luris of the Dream Den, one double black, double green hybrid, one double black, double white hybrid, for a 3/2 lifelinking kitty cat. This doesn't matter because she's my commander, so it's irrelevant. But once during each of my turns, I may cast a permanent spell with mana value CMC 2 or less from a graveyard. I thought I could do something around that, something around lifelink. But Krenko is just too fast. I win 1 out of every 7 games. 8 games. My win rate is horrendous because Krenko is just too goddamn fast. It's consistent. It's mono red, so there's a lot of things I can't use to protect myself that I would normally have in such a deck. So I need to, 1, speed it up, 2, put more protection into the deck, 3, have more creatures with evasion. He's on the ground. He's only got a couple creatures that fly. He doesn't really have any equipment that gives his creatures flying, so I need more flying and or shadow evasion to get through. If he's got 30 goblins, I'm not hitting on the ground unless I've got a creature protection from red or shadow, which means it cannot block or protect me. I attack, and if the creature has anything weird, death touch, anything that he doesn't want it to die, some death, whatever, he blocks with the goblin token. And then he taps Krenko and respawns and doubles his goblins anyway. So it's a losing proposition. That's why I need more flying and or shadow. The other thing is, it kind of feels like cheating that I'm making this deck so against this one deck. And if we actually had more people in the group that had built these decks, it would be more interesting, more fair. But since it's just 1v1, Cube and I are the only ones in the group with these decks. We just use them when we're waiting for the last to show up. Usually I'm the first one to the pub, Cube is the second, and then we wait for Long Pete, somebody else show up. Well, that's not true. If Baby Ishii is coming, he's the first one there, because he's a student, and he doesn't have to wait to get off work. He can just show up whenever he wants. So if he's coming, he's the first one there, then I'll be the second. But he comes rarely, since he's trying to graduate. He's trying to become imitated so he can get a good-ass job when he graduates. So let's look at the mana base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I've got 11 non-basics. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 swamps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 26 plus 11, I've got 37 lands, which it seems to be the right number. I don't have a whole lot of rocks. I do, however, want to introduce another land, and I want to put in this Goldmire Bridge. Comes in play tapped, indestructible, gives me 1 mana of either of my colors. And I've got a feeling that I'm going to shift this deck into more mono white. But let's see. Okay, Soul Ring, that just works. Mentor the Meek. Okay, I'm trying to pull up more of the ground creatures, the things that aren't effective. He is effective. A lot of the creatures are small because they're common uncommon, so there's just not that many big creatures, and I'm trying to speed it up, so I'm going to put in more smaller creatures. And that's what I was thinking of Luris. Because if a lot of the creatures are white or black weenies, I can recast one of them each turn if they get killed. And when it comes into play, I can spend another one to draw a card. So Mentor the Meek stays. Kami of Ancient Law. I put this in here mainly because of Impact Tremors. He runs Impact Tremors. Well, he's put in more artifacts that vex me, so Kami of Ancient Law comes out because I don't want to limit myself to enchantments. A Seal of Cleansing, destroy an artifact or enchantment. I can take out one of those dirty artifacts. I can take out impact tremors, take out Molten Gatekeeper, and then Luris can recast it so that stays. Angelic Renewal. 1 and a white. Whenever a creature is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, you may sack Angelic Renewal. If you do, bring the creature back to the battlefield. And it's recastable by Luris, so that's effective. That works. This is highly effective. Last game, Cube had over 1,000 goblins because I wasn't drawing any removal. I couldn't kill Krenko. I had just a couple. I had like 2 flying creatures, so I'm picking at him for 3 a turn, and I can't get anything through on the ground because he's got 1,000 fucking goblins. Of course, he can't attack me because I would just say, okay, I let them through, no blocks, and all the damage would be prevented because he didn't have anything that made them bigger than +1/+1. So it was a long, frustrating stalemate, which is what these decks can devolve into quickly, these 1 rare decks. Okay, Loxodon Warhammer. 3. Your equip creature gets +3/+0, trample, and lifelink whenever it deals damage against you. So that stays. What I'm going to do is put in more equipment so that way I can beef up my smaller creatures and do more damage faster. Unburial Rites. I really don't need this. I do want at least one effect that can bring back something like Send Your Vampire or Sarah Angel, so I should probably keep this in there as I can use it twice. Breathless Night. 1 black, 1 white, 1 colorless for a 2/2 flying life-linking Spirit Knight. So Luris lets me cast things out of the graveyard. Whenever I cast things out of the graveyard, or something enters the battlefield out of my graveyard, he gets bigger. Sounds like a winning combination, and he flies, so that's what I need. Murning Blight Priest. Okay, she's on the ground, but whenever I gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. It doesn't matter how much life I gain. It's not Sanguine Bond. So I don't think this is fast. I mean, it does pick away at Cube's life total, but I don't think it's fast enough, so I'm going to take her out. Low Unicorn. If I do get this guy, then I can attack with whatever, and they have my creatures have vigilance and indestructible until end of turn. Prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to my creatures as long as I have him and my commander in play. So probably should keep him. Grist Boon. 1 white. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 in flying, and for 4 I can recast it out of the graveyard and attach it to one of my creatures, or I can recast it with Luris. So if I don't have Luris out, I can still get this back. So if I enchant a creature and it croaks, at least I can get this back. So it's kind of like an equipment in that way. Morbid Opportunist. 2 and a black. Whenever one or more other creatures croak, pull a card. Only once per turn, but still, it's cards. Actually, let's put this in the maybe. So this is the coming out, this is the maybe, this is the, oh yeah, it's staying. Wisp, Drinker Vampire. 2, 1 black, 1 white for 2/4 flying Vampire Rogue. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less comes to play under my control, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. Okay, that's fine, that's good. Her being a 2/4 flyer, that's also good. And then this 5, 1 black, 1 white. My creatures with power 2 or less gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. That can finish things off if I ever manage to do it, which I haven't. Excuse me, Sarah Angel. Yeah, she stays. 4/4 Vigilant Beater in the air. Yeah, let's keep her. Soul Warden. Wow, Cube, you just doubled your 150 goblins to have 300. How can 150 life? That sounds like a good idea. Heir of Falcon Wrath. I'm not sure, so 1 in a black, and she's a 2/4. If I throw away a card, then I can flip her over, and she becomes a 3/2 flyer. She comes down early. She only costs 1 black. Yeah, I better keep her. Okay, Skull Clamp. He's playing red, so he's got burn. He's going to kill my creatures. So, yeah, equip it with a clamp. Beloved Chaplain. 1 colorless, 1 white. Protection from creatures. So he's really versatile. He can block, and he's not going to die. He can attack, and he's going to get through. But I'm not sure if I shouldn't put in something better. My Goblin Killer. Guardian the Gateless. 4 in a red, 4 in a white, 4 in a red, 4 in a white for a 3/3 Flying Angel. They can block any number of creatures. Whenever she blocks, he gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature she's blocking. So if he attacks with 150 goblins, I block them all with Guardian the Gateless, she gets +150 +150. Of course, when I do have her in play, Cube just doesn't attack because he's not stupid. Swords Plowshares. Yeah, I need to kill Krinko. Need to get him off the goddamn field. Professor's Warning. So it can give a creature indestructible until end of turn, or put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. In any case, this just doesn't really come up. So I'm going to take it out. Feed the Swarm. Kill a creature or enchantment an opponent controls. I probably should put in something more efficient. I probably should put in something more instantaneous. But I've got it. It's sleeved. Let's keep going. Vampire Nighthawk. 1 double black for a 2/3 flying, death-touching, life-linking Vampire Shaman. Oh yeah, he's good. And he's in the air. That's what I need. Mortify. Instantly destroy target creature or enchantment for low price of 1 black, 1 white. So I probably should replace the Feed the Swarm. Something else, I'll think about it. I really don't have that many legendary creatures in here, and I'm not really planning to put that many in. So he's 3, 1 black, 1 white for a 3/3 death-touching, life-linking Vampire Knight. But okay, so randomly he comes down and he makes Luris a 5/4. Do I have any other legendary creatures so far that he can do anything with? No. Do I have any in the deck? 1, but she's probably coming out. 2. So I have 2. I know I have a third one. At least. Yep, 3. So there are 3 creatures he can possibly buff. And he's only a 3/3, but Death Touch lifelink. We'll put him in the baby. Okay, Sacred Kitty Cat. 1/1 lifelinking kitty cat. 1/1 on the ground. It's not enough. I'm going to replace it with the Segovian Angel. Call me a false hope. 1 white for a 1/1 spirit. It's basically a white Spore Frog. So a white Spore Frog, sack it, and fog. And then Luris can cast him back out. So yeah, protection. Beneath the Caption Paragon. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. 2/2. Or an equipment spells to cast costs 1 less to cast. She'll go in the maybe because I've only got a few more equipment to put in. And if I have less than 10 auras and equipment in the deck, then I'll replace her with something that flies. Because a 2/2, even with First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink, unless she has Death Touch, it's not enough. It's not fast enough. Boots. Equipped creature is hexproof and haste. Yeah, that's pretty good. Daxos, Bliss by the Sun. Toughness equal to my devotion to white. Whenever the creature you control enters or dies, I gain 1 life. I'm not really sure I want him. Because if I have, let's see, I believe I have Soul Warden, yeah, and Soul's Attendant. And they say whenever another creature enters, full stop. This guy only when a creature I control enters. So I'm going to take him out. Phyrexian Rager comes to play, draw a card and lose in life. I'm going to put in something that's more reliable than that, something that is better. Oathsworn Vampire. I put him in here for some kind of shenanigans, but I think I took out the card that he shenaniganed with. So he's a 2/2 on the ground. If I recast him out of my graveyard, if I gain life, he comes to play tapped. So yeah, he's cool looking. I mean, he's wicked cool looking. I really like the art in this, but he's just not getting me there. Now, as a cultist, 1 and a black for a 1/2 human wizard. When she croaks, I draw a card. Phyrexian Rager, when it comes into play, I draw a card and lose in life. When she dies, when she leaves play, unless she, as long as she's not exile or anything, so she's not fast enough. Yeah, the idea was use her as a blocker, but Cube is not really playing into that whole plan. Spirit Shackle, this is just funny. Black for an aura. And of course, Danitha doesn't make it any cheaper because it's black. It only makes it 1 colorless less. Put a -0, -2 counter on target creature every time it becomes tapped. Counters remain even if the enchantment is removed. So this is funny. Old Legends card. And since he wants to keep tapping Krinko, okay, you get 2 activations before Krinko goes back to the command zone. That's a good idea. Core Firewalker. Double white for a 2/2 core soldier, protection from red. Whenever player casts a red spell, I will gain 1 life. And he's got protection from red, so he can block, and then he can get through because unless Cube has one of his few colorless creatures, he can't block him. Orders of Charm. Black and white. Instantly bounce a creature control and all auras you control attached to the owner's hand, so it saves your enchantments as well. Not that I have that many to enchant my creatures with. Or kill a creature and lose life equal to its toughness. Or return target creature with CMC 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I can get back Soul Warden, or actually that'd be kind of funny. If he has killed Soul Warden or Warden of Souls, and I don't have Lurrus on the field, and he's going to activate Krinko and gain a bunch of goblins, I can instantly bring one of those girls back to life, and she'll see all those goblins coming into play and buff up my life total. So that's a solid card. Cannibalize. 1 in black. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by any 1 player. Exile one of those bastards and give the other one 2+1/+ encounters. So, Krinko, back to the command zone. This shitty little 1/1 token, he gets to be 3/3. He can feel the power. Soul's Attendant. Yeah, I need to gain life as quickly as possible. Okay, Supernatural Stamina. So I've got 2 of these effects. Professor's Warning and Supernatural Stamina. I'm going to put this in the maybe as well. Land tax. It has proven its value time and time again, so it's going to stay. 1 white. During upkeep, if an opponent controls more land than you, there's several times he's had more land than I have, and I've had it in play, I can go look for 3 basic lands, put them in my hand to shuffle, so I can clear the lands out of my deck and get to the gas, get to the burn, get to the beaters and the good stuff, inshallah. Gifted Etherborn, black for a 2/3 Death Touch life on the ground. Tividar's Crusade. Did I mention Cube is playing mono red goblins? I think I might have said that. So if Tividar goes on a crusade, all goblins are destroyed. Yeah, it's only 1 turn, but could take the wind out of the sails long enough for me to get going. And I made dead. Okay, so I've got this, and I've got I've got, what the fuck is it called? Unburied Rites. So this can bring back a creature from any graveyard under my control, and all that happens is the creature gets -0, -1, -0. But so Serra Angel would be a 3/4. Cinder Vampire would be a 3/4. It's not that much of a worry. And Luris can recast it. Gold Vein Pick 2. Equip creature gets a +1/+1. And when it deals combat damage to a player, I get a treasure token. It only costs 1 to equip. So it's okay in this format, in this deck. Terror. 1 to black. Bury target creature. Cannot target black or artifact creatures. Well, he's playing mono red. He's got some artifact creatures, but none of them are really nasty enough for me to worry about Terror having this limitation. It will kill Krinko, and that's what needs to happen. Justice. 2 double. This is one of the first anti-red cards I really put in there. I put in Core Firewalker and Just at the same time, and I got Sphere of Law later. So it's hard to read, so I'll tell you what it does. 2 double white. During your upkeep, pay double white or destroy Justice. Whenever a red creature or spell. So it does nothing for impact tremors. It does nothing for his enchantments. It doesn't stop those at all. Only his creatures and his spells. Whenever they deal damage, Justice deals an amount of damage to the controller of that creature or spell equal to the amount of damage prevented. Amount of damage dealt. If another spell or effect reduces the amount of damage a red creature or spell deals, it does not reduce the amount of damage dealt by Justice. So, one of those old color hosed cards from the first years of Magic, back when they used to do that a lot. Carving Vampire, I thought he'd be cute. I really like him. I really like the art. Really wanted to play it again. Haven't played one for a long time, because he's just not that good anymore. 3 black for a 3/3 with no evasion. At the end of any turn in which he kills a creature he damages dies, you get control of it. The problem is making that happen. You have to give him Death Touch. You have to give him some kind of indestructibility. You have to make it so your opponents will block him, or you leave him as a blocker, but he has to live. He has to survive. If you flicker him so he doesn't die, he comes in as a new object, and you do not get that creature. But I like the art. Quentin Hoover. Necrota. So one of the funniest plays that happened is Cube casts this red spell. It's kind of like Chaos Warp. I can't remember if it destroyed my creature or if it made me shuffle back. Anyway, I think it was destroy. I think it destroyed one of my creatures. And I flip over cards in top of my library until I reveal a card that shares a type with the card that was destroyed. So I killed one of my creatures with this, and I flipped over cards until I flipped over Necrotal, and I killed Krinko. And he's like, that's not what I was expecting. And I said, well, it's the best I could have hoped for. So 2 black for 2 Inhuman Assassin. He's got first strike. When he comes into play, he terrorizes a creature. And it can't be it's basically terror. Buries a creature as long as it's not black or an artifact. Menarok, 2 colors, 1 tap, get black or white. I probably should put Talisman of Hierarchy, but I just haven't yet. Vengeful Blood Bitch, this guy, 1 in a black. Whenever he or another creature I control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. He's just not fast enough. He's getting replaced by a Blood Artist. But I like the art. I like the art a lot. Yeah, if I was playing tokens, if I had more creatures that were going to die, then he would be more useful, but he's just not. Dismember. Yeah, Dismember Krenko. 1 double black or double Phyrexian. Target creatures goes -5 until end of turn. Yeah, removal. Singer Vampire. 3 black. 4/4 flying vampire. Whenever creature dealt damage by Singer Vampire this turn croaks, he gets a +1/+1 encounter. Of course, the thing is, if he attacks, Cube is not going to block him because he doesn't have that many flying creatures, so he's not going to get a +1/+1 encounter. And if he's on the ground, Cube is not going to attack me unless he has an overwhelming advantage anyway, and him getting bigger is not going to matter. So he's really not going to get bigger from his own effect. Same thing with Cockatrice. I used to love Cockatrice back when I started playing. Cockatrice is 3 green for, I believe it's a 2/5. Either 2/5 or 2/4 flyer that whenever creature is dealt damage by it, first version of Death Touch. So when a creature is dealt damage by Cockatrice, it would die. Thing is, Cockatrice is flying, so you just don't block it. It's only 2 damage. So you could leave it as a blocker, but you're kind of losing some utility. Zealous Persecution. Black and white. Till end turn, your creatures get bigger, your opponent's creatures get smaller. And if the goblins are all neg1, they die. Let's see. Angel of Vitality. Oh yeah, she's really good in this deck. 2 and white for a 2/2 flying angel. If you gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. And she gets +2/+2 as long as I... So as soon as I put her in play, if I've not taken any damage, or I've only been picked out a little bit, and we start at 30, sometimes I play her... one time I played her in turn 3, I think it was. So right away, she's a 4/4. Neat. Abuse the conditions. Abuse the format. Outbreak. 3 and black. You can throw away a swamp for your hand instead of paying the mana cost. Choose a creature type. That's going to be a real hard decision. All creatures of that type get neg1 until end of turn. Yes. Knight of Meadowgrain. Double white for a 2/2 first strike lifelinker. Well, it's just not fast enough. Arcane Signet. Mana Rock. Gives me mana of any color. My commander's color identity. It'll give me black or white. Make a stand. I've used this effectively at least once. 2 and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. Sometimes that can make a huge difference. And it's the only card in the deck that really does that, so I'll keep it in there. Guardian of the Guild Pact. 4 for 2/3 with protection from mono-colored. I don't really know if I need him. I thought it was cute. I'm trying to play a lot of cards I already have. He can get through because, mono-red, so the only creatures that can block him are the few artifact creatures that the cube is running. Like, he's got 1 Ornithopter, or Ornithopter Paradise. I think he's got 1 of those. But for 4 mana, if I'm using him mainly as an evasive beater, I could probably put in something a bit more efficient. Now, of course, he can't be burned out, so there's that. So put him in the maybe. Timuret, chosen from death. Black. Toughness equal to my devotion to black. 1 of black. Exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. A cube, he's not running any recursion. Not that I've seen. Maybe he's tuning the deck. Maybe he will. So if he's not running any recursion and he's not bringing back anything from the graveyard anyway, I really don't need Timuret. Yes, he can exile creatures from graveyards and get me life, but I'm not sure I need him, so I'll put him in the maybe pile. Solitary Visionary, 1 double white for 2/2 Shadow Cleric. If Solitary Visionary damages any player, Destroy target enchantment the player controls. Now that's interesting. It doesn't say combat damage. So if I gave him some equipment that allowed him to ping my opponent, tap, creature does 1 damage to whatever the hell you want. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if there is such. I imagine there is. I mean, there's so many fucking cards now, and there probably is at least one card that you give it to equip a creature with it, and you can tap it and do 1 point of damage to something. There must be an equipment or an enchantment that does that. I don't know what colors then. I'll have to look it up. But if you put that on Soltari Visionary, you can take out people's enchantments at instant speed, because it doesn't say it has to be combat damage. Alright, so let's look at the potential. Actually, let me count my definite cuts. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, I'm making 12 definite cuts. And I've got 2, 4, 6, I've got 7 possibles. That's 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 more possibles than I do cuts and maybes. So let's cut these down. Okay, Whisper's Hope Cloak, 3 colorless, 2 to equip. Equip creatures and block them on Hash Shroud. That can help me with evasion. That can help get Luris through. She's got lifelink, so I can gain some life. She can do some damage. Let's put that there. Vanquisher's Axe. 1 mana, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+0. That's really pretty. I don't know what the hell this is. I really don't know. But I really like that orb in foil. I don't know what's going on. If any of you know what's going on, let me know in the comments, because I'm just... Okay, so this is obviously some kind of axe, but it's stuck in some water, mud, and this looks like it could be a cephalid. Maybe it is a cephalid. I don't know, it's fucking weird. So we'll put that in a maybe. Hero's Heirloom, again, 2 to cast. No, sorry. 2 to equip, 2 to cast. This is 1 to cast, 2 to equip. So, 2 to cast, 2 to equip. Equip creature to +2/+1, and as long as the legendary has trample and haste. So that's pretty much just Luris. Because if I'm taking out Timurit, and I'm taking out Daxos, and I'm taking out Harvard, Luris is the only legendary creature left in the deck. So, but it still gives the creature +2/+1. So it makes it... one or the other of these will be going in. One or the other, for sure. I just don't know which one yet. Let's keep going. Adrena's Emissary. 1 black-white. 2/2 flyer, beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent loses 1 life, negating 1 life. So, 1 life is not much. It's not. Even if we're starting at 30, not 40. But it is consistent. And she is flying, so she's got evasion. Let's put her down. Moonrise Cleric. Okay. 1 double black to white hybrid for 2/3 flying. So she's 1 black, 1 white for 2/2 flyer. Guarantees I'll gain life. This guy is the same CMC for 2/3 flyer, and whenever he attacks, I gain 1 life. Plus, he looks really cool and cute, so let's keep him. This is an uncommon, as originally printed. Engineered Plague. As Engineered Plague comes into play, choose a creature type. All son of a bitches of the chosen type get -1/-1 permanently for the low cost of 2 and a black. They just get sick. Look at that. Look how fucking sick those goblins get. And it's got the perfect creature type in the art. It's It was meant for the deck. Blood Artist. 1 and a black for a 0/1 vampire. Another creature dies. Any other creature. Target player loses when laughing at. So, here's the Christmas Land fantasy. Cube has like 300 fucking goblins. I play Blood Artist. And then I play Engineered Plague. Or Tivadar goes on a crusade. And all of his goblins die. And when they die, target player loses 1 life and I gain 1 life for every single one of those motherfuckers. Doesn't that just warm the cockles of your heart to think about that? I like that. Let's do that. Sorry, Blood Witch. You're just not good enough. Hypnotic Spectre. 1 black for a 2/2 flyer. Whenever it flies over and smacks somebody upside of their nappy little head, they throw away a card at random. Yep, I need more flyers. Plus, I pulled out a lot more white than I did black, and I want to keep the black-white balance even in the deck. So I'm probably just going to throw in all the black cards I pulled, automatically. Exsanguinate. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. I don't know if I really need this. I mean, it is a finisher. It can buff me up a bit. Yeah, let's throw it in there. Dalthy Slayer, double black for a 2/2 shadow, has to attack each turn of Fable. So just poke at him for 2 and he can't block it because he doesn't have any shadow goblins. Gloom. Oh, I love the way. So the center of the card, the old foiling process, they only foiled the frame. They didn't foil. I mean, it's shinier, but the art itself isn't foil. But I love the way the foil is kind of purplish, and it just really goes well with that cloak or whatever the hell is going on behind the Gloom Drifter. Anyway, for 3 and a black, 2/2 flyer. Excuse me. Threshold. If I've got 7 cards in my graveyard when he comes into play, non-black creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. It could kill some of my creatures, but it's going to kill a lot of red creatures. Order of Midnight. 1 and a black. Return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. And then, and the same, 1 and a black for the Alter Fate. 1 and a black for a 2/2 that can't block. Okay, so all it'll let me do is punch him in the head. That's a good idea. And the way he killed me, so he couldn't really get me with his 1,000 goblins because I had Sphere of Law. And I couldn't really get him because I wasn't getting enough flyers, which is why I'm going through this whole exercise now. And then he killed me with Mob Justice. 1 colorless, 1 red. Target player takes damage according to the number of creatures. So, 1 card, end of the game. It's pretty anticlimactic. So I'm going to put in Honorable Passage. I looked it up. It is indeed an uncommon. 1 and a white. Instantly prevent all damage to you or target creature from any one source. If that source is red, Honorable Passage deals to the source's controller an equal amount of damage to what was prevented. So if he Mob Justice me for 1,000 and I send him through the Honorable Passage, he's taking that damage, not me. Flicker of Fate. 1 and a white, exile target creature or enchantment, then bounce it back to the battlefield under its owner's control. The reason I'm going to put this in here is he did kill one of my enchantments with, and I'm pretty sure it was that red card. So it must destroy other cards. I don't remember what the card is. I didn't really pay much attention. So if he goes to destroy my Sphere of Law, I need a way to protect it. Flicker of Fate will do the trick. Let's see, Martyr's Cause. 2 and white, sacrifice creature, prevent all damaged creature or player from 1 source. Now, this would stop the Mob Justice. But the other thing that will stop Mob Justice is Honorable Passage and me killing all of his goblins. So I don't think I need this. So I'll put this here. Moonblessed Cleric. 2 and a white. 3/2 creature and comes into play. I can go find an enchantment, show it to everybody, shuffle and put it. Sphere of Law is really, really good in the deck. But truth be told, I don't know if having essentially a second copy of it is really going to help me that much when then I've got a 3/2 on the ground and Luris can't bring her back. So it's one, go find Sphere of Law. I don't know. Maybe. Burnt Forge Tender. 1 white, protection from red. Sacrifice Burnt Forge Tender. Prevent all damage or red source of your choice. Deal this turn. And she costs less than 2, so Luris can bring her back. Definitely. So if I've got her, I probably don't need the extra Sphere of Law. Well, it's only... What? Not Martyr's Cause. Because I would put that in mainly against Mob Justice. But she would also defend me from Mob Justice. So Moonboast Cleric is still possible. Sigovian Angel. 1 white for a 1/1 Vigilant Flyer. Yeah, better than Sacred Cat in this deck. Marble Gargoyle. 3 for a 2/2. And for white I can make it tougher. Not sure if I want it for the mana cost. So let's put it in the maybe. Vanguard Seraph, 3 and a white for a 3/3 flyer. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, surveil 1, look top card of the library, you can throw it in your graveyard if you don't want it. Especially if you have Luris. So if there's something on top of my library, and Luris can cast it, then I can throw it in my graveyard, and Luris can cast it, and I've cleared out something off the top of it. So she does work. She has a 3/3 flying beater, so let's bring her out. 3 and a white, Garden Corinne, flying. Whenever another creature control croaks, he gets a +1/+1 encounter. She's 3 and a white for 3/3 and surveil. This guy will get bigger as my creatures die, but I don't have any way of making it happen in and of my own effects. I don't have any effects that kill my creatures, sacrifice my creatures. So if I had this in play and I go to attack, well, if I've got more flyers, he's not blocking shit. So how big would this really get? Maybe +4/+4 over the course of, say, 4 or 5 turns, which would be 6, 7, which would be a significant beater. Let's put it in maybe. Yeah, definitely. Welcoming Vampire. 2 and a white for a 2/3 flyer. Whenever one or more other creatures with power 2 or less come to play under your control, draw a card. Only once per turn, but who gives a shit? It's card draw. It's parasitic card draw. More like symbiotic card draw, where I don't have to pay for it. So symbiotic card draw is good. Disenchant. 1 and a white. Kill an artifact or enchantment. Yep. Angel of Dawn, when she comes into play, creatures might control get +1/+1 and vigilance until end of turn, but she costs 5. She's gorgeous art though. That's I really like the art on that. But she's kind of a one-trick pony. Comes into play, to get her back I only have the 1 card to flicker her. So let's set her aside. Let's go with low casting cost. 1 double white for a 3/3 flying angel. When she comes into play, bounce a permanent control to its owner's hand. So I don't really have anything in the deck. I don't have anything in the deck that really takes advantage of that. I mean, if nothing else. So I spend 1 white, tap my lands. I can bring the land back, and if I have not played a land yet this turn, I can replay the land. So there is that. Or with Welcoming Vampire, I can pick up, say, Segovian Angel and recast her and get another card. Okay, so yeah, she'll be worth it. Or, now I'm really talking myself into putting Emancipation Angel in. I can pick up Order of Midnight to recast Altar of Fate. Yeah, the Angel is going. The Angel is going in the deck. So how many? I needed to pull 6 out. This is... this is 5. I told you one of these is coming out. Yes. But which one? Which one should make the cut? Probably the one that has the side bonus. I mean, the art on the... I just like this art better. This is... okay. It's not... I don't know, it's just not... this is prettier. There's more color. It's green. So, Hero's Heirloom. 2 to cast, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+1. As long as this legendary has trample and haste. So, Luris is the only one. So, Vanquisher's Axe will come out. Only these maybes will come out. Is that really what I... Morbid Opportunist, though. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 black. And then black and white. So when a creature dies, I get to draw a card. But it's not going to get through. Not when the ground gets gummed up. But still, it's a 1/3. So unless he gives his goblins +2, giving them +1 isn't so hard. He can just play one of his war chiefs. I forget which one. I haven't played goblins for a long time. She can block it pretty effectively. He can block it. The face kind of looks like a chick's face. But the body, there's just no shape to it. I don't know what the hell it is. And the flavor text doesn't really give a clue. You know, the face looks pretty feminine. I'm going to say it's a chick. An opportunistic chick. Where have we heard that before? So, if I want to shove her back in the deck, what should I take out, if anything? Or should I just say, fuck it, and this is the deck and keep going? Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that's the best course of action. Although I would like to have another repetitive way of drawing cards. Is there anything here? Okay. Beginning of upkeep, each one loses 1, you gain 1, but she flies. Never Moonrise Cleric attacks, you gain 1 life, it flies. Oh yeah, yeah, that's going in. Blood Artist, Hypnotic Spectre, Exsanguinate. This will finish him off sometimes. If I can get him down to about, later in the game, if I can pick him down to about 6 life, and especially if I'm not drawing that many flying creatures and things are gummed up on the ground, or maybe Dauthi Slayer, maybe that should come out. Shadow, it's only 2 a turn. Gloomdrifter, 4. Order of Midnight, Honorable Passage. Do I really need her? It is good to have... How many creatures do I have that cost 1? I think just the Soul System. Well, Protection of Red. So if I didn't put in this Segovian Angel, this is where it gets hard. So Surveil 1. And I want this because he's got that artifact that just it fucks with me. You can tap it to exile a card from a graveyard. If I'm counting on Lurrus bringing things back out, I don't want him to have a way of fucking with my plan. I just don't. So, let's run through right quick. Mass Goblin kill, instant speed. Krinko kill, instant speed. Krinko kill, sorcery speed. Really makes things interesting. Goldwing pick, animate dead. Yeah. Land tax, cannibalize, firewalker. Huh. 3/2 flyer, but I have to throw away a card, but that really doesn't matter. We've discussed this, we've been over it, we know what's going on. Combat on my turn. If I control my commander, prevent all combat damage to all two creatures, and then they get vigilance. The vigilance itself, for the flyer, that's pretty good. So if I want that, I'm thinking really the Gloom Drifter. So yeah, it's a 2/2 flyer for 3 and a black. And when it comes to play, it could kill all non-black creatures, but that could be mine. I'll take this out for now, and I'll leave Morbid Opportunist in. How's that sound? Are you happy? So I'll take these out of the sleeves. Put those in the sleeves. Monday, today is Saturday, December 6th, year of our Lord, 2025. Monday in 2 days I'll take this and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, if I just cannot beat Krinko, because there's only so many iterations of this I want to do to beat a single mono red deck. So I'll see. I'll let you lads know how it goes.